Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. My name is Dr. Kingori. Our subject tonight is food security, and our guest is the Associate Director in World Vision for Resilience and Livelihoods, Mr. Lawrence Keguro, ladies and gentlemen. Lawrence Keguro, ladies and gentlemen. Karibu. Welcome to the show, boss. I always say something that people think is funny before we start the show. Okay. Every guest, that's how I introduce every guest. But tonight, I'll request to refrain because we are talking about food and you don't joke with food. Karibu.
Okay.
Karibu.
Even food is something to joke about because it's an important thing.
Yes.
And personally, I think that by saying that I'm very happy to see these young people here with an interest and focus on food. Yes.
If you are an associate director of resilience, which means recovering from a disaster, you gave up on supporting Harambee Stars because they lost a match.
How did you know that?
We did our research, we did our bit. Actually, the Harambee Stars is the Arsenal version in Kenya.
Actually, what happened when I was a young man like you at the university, there was this match that was being held in Kivugu Stadium in Uganda.
Yes.
The match was so live to me
that you got mad.
That I actually cried because my team of Harambee Stars was losing. And because of crying, because of football, I said never again will I ever be a fan of football.
And that's the problem. That was the problem. Uli catch instead of the goalkeeper. Now, the subject of our show tonight is the food security.
Yes.
And the government knows that every 5 years there will be a drought. Like hata say tukisaidia wase na food, it brings the impression anyi say tunawasort but tukutane in 5 years. Like bado mtasikia njaa. Why can't we come up with a lasting solution for this?
Actually, it's not even 5 years. It's even a very long time. Basically, you are talking about these days is coming out almost every other year. Every 2 years, you expect 1 year to have a shortage of rain.
Yes.
And why are we having this is because of the issue of climate change. And why you're having the problem of climate change is because of the accumulation of greenhouse gases, you know, and interfering with the whole ecosystem. Now the issue is that we may not be able to do everything, you know, or to do everything to stop the greenhouse gases at our level, but all of us need to act together to do that. Yes. But we do what we can at our level. Now at our level, we can do 3 things as a country. One is accepting that climate change is here with us. Climate change brings about the issue of rainfall becoming unreliable and you know that you cannot depend on it anymore. And therefore you have also frequent droughts. So we have to accept the fact that drought is here with us, and therefore we have to adapt to what we are calling, we do what we call adaptation to climate change. Now adaptation to climate change means you change from what you have been growing before to those other crops that can do with the available rains.
Like wetangula?
Yes, we have just been shown a clip we are showing about people talking about ugari. In Kenya, food security is equated to maize or to ugari.
Okay.
And if that's not the only food that is available in this country.
Yes, there's chips and stuff, but does that qualify for like real food?
All these things are foods. I mean, let's take for example, if we are not able to grow maize, to be able to make the ugari, you can grow sorghum. Sorghum is food. You can grow cassava. Cassava is food. You can grow sweet potatoes. Sweet potato is food. But unfortunately, unless we eat food, unless we eat maize or we eat ugari, we don't feel like we have eaten.
Let's be realistic. Mimi ni mtu wa mjengo. Ni convince ni kule chipo. Serious, convince me. Convince me. I'm a mjengo guy. Let me also now tell you. If you are a mjengo guy and there is no ugari, which is the better option? There is no ugari, and what is available is a chipo or the sweet potatoes or whatever else is available. I'll take the chipo, but I'll consider it fasting. But I don't think it's something that I can quit. We're talking about quitting ugali. Like quitting ugali, like we boycott ugali.
That is what has been put in our minds. But there's really nothing wrong with eating ugali or eating cassava or eating sweet potatoes or even eating bananas. And it's not our problem. Let me go back. The problem goes back to 1982, when the government enacted a policy that we're calling the National Food Policy, that indicated that the staple food for Kenya is what? Is maize. And that implied a lot of things thereafter. It implied that all the research, all the funding for this country was just directed towards production and production of nothing else but maize. Other things were kind of secondary.
If I got you right,
Yes.
Could that mean that before 1982,
Yes,
people were eating chips until the government chipped in and said,
Okay.
like, you know what, you need to stop and you need to...
I would say they were still eating all other types of foods, including maize, but that time it was given a lot of emphasis as a staple food for Kenya.
Just the other day, they told us now you can eat donkeys.
Yes,
What next? Baboons?
There's nothing wrong with donkeys as long as they are investigated by the veterinary authorities. I think that has been the position. If you go to another country,
Yes.
they even eat things like baboons. They eat squirrels. Yes. Most of these things are just in the mind. It's just because of our cultures, we are not used to it. But the minute you get used to it, it's not anything new. I mean,
with that information you have, you will eat a baboon.
According to them.
But chapati baboon up away. You do that.
So basically, what I'm saying here is that most of these things are based on our cultures.
Okay.
And we have to get out of our cultures if we have to continue surviving. Can you people imagine a time when this country will be having, we are talking about 40 million Kenyans and we're not able to feed ourselves. You reach what you are calling the Madusia in Ethiopia because the production will be so high and the production, and the amount of rice is constant. Therefore, production of food is at a standstill. So we have to diversify our eating habits.
How long do you see that happening? Like people being... Like in how many years?
Maybe another 200 years or so.
We will not be there.
But your grandchildren will be there. And they'll be needy food. Yes. And you have to embrace now those things that you are saying they are not good. They will have to get out of this messy business and go into other things that are maybe more productive. Or come up with other types of crops that are, that are productive enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to summarize what you've just said, first of all, the best remedy for climate change is mindset change.
Yes.
Change our mindset.
Yes.
It's okay to eat a baboon as long as you don't look at it as a baboon. If you unakula ukifunga macho usema hii ni ng'ombe na hii ni ng'ombe and this is a cow.
Let's just call it diversified eating habits. I went to another country, Indonesia, where they eat snakes. They put, the way we put fish, we put fish in a cage and we say fish and chips. There it is snakes and chips. And you just go and point to a snake and you say, can you remove for me this one which is black and slaughter it for me? And they slaughter it for you and you eat.
How did you react after eating the snake? Like
of course.
You didn't notice behavior change?
Of course. I started walking like a snake.
Yes. What's the most surprising meal you've taken?
Maybe that one.
As in, for your calm nature, I would guess a teddy bear, but...
No, my thing is that I normally look at, if I go to a community and I feel what they are eating and nothing is happening to them, I just conform myself to that. And I believe I can live in any community in this world because I can eat anything that people are eating. Yeah, if it's a dog, it's the same. All these animals are edible. There's nothing that will happen to you.
You've eaten man's best friend too.
They are all what I'm saying is that they are all edible as long as they are properly checked to make sure that they don't have disease.
So you'll eat anything that has meat and
anything that will sustain life.
Let's do something.
For me, instead of dying for lack of food today, okay, I'll eat what is available and die tomorrow because I ate the wrong food.
Even the person?
That's my policy. I'll not eat another person because that's against God's, against
okay, I think
creation.
I'm just so fixed on that issue of you eating everything that moves except a person. So allow me to do something, like a small activity. Like you've heard of nyama? You know nyama? If something is nyama, just say nyama. So nyama nyama nyama. Nyama nyama nyama. Ya kuku. Ya ng'ombe. Ya mbuzi. Punda.
Yeah. Are you in doubt? We now have a slaughterhouse in Baringo where they are slaughtering donkeys. But now let's do the mindset change with what is available locally. Forget about those things which are being eaten out there. Just the normal things. Let's change from the habit that unless you eat maize, the food that unless akule ugali, hajakula. Kama iko maharagwe, kama iko cassava, kama iko ngwashi, kama iko nduma, eat what is available. All these things are food. And in terms of energy, maybe even those ones have got probably more energy than the ugali. It's only that they reach the energy slowly, you know.
Aye. Yeah. Sawa, you mesikia yote. Our guest tonight, very interesting. Actually, I love the part about meat. He's eaten everything. He's eaten a snake. He's eaten a dog. He has not confirmed. But we said earlier on the show that you are what you eat. That's it for the weekend edition. See you next week. My name is Dr. Kingori.